Hello and welcome to Alive with Amanda. Today we're going to be talking about one thing you need to become very proficient at if you are really embracing that inner CEO of your mental health counseling practice. Okay, so I'm going to brace you, right? I'm putting my hands up. I'm warning you. It's going to be finances. It's going to be money. Okay. And so I have a knack for numbers. I always have. And so it comes naturally to me to understand money and finances. I've also done a lot of reading, a lot of watching, a lot of absorbing personal finance and business finance over the years. And so what I have not been scared of, right? I have leaned into money conversations at a lot of different levels. And so that has naturally translated over to running a business. And I do highly recommend that you get comfortable with money talks, and finances when it comes to running a practice. Now, I say running a practice, that can mean a lot of different things. That can mean you're a part-time solo practitioner, you are a full-time CEO of 200 plus clinicians and anything in between, right? I think it doesn't matter. What you do here is what you're going to do here. And you're not going to be able to get here if at this level you're not comfortable with money. Okay? So you have to get comfortable talking about money with yourself, with your spouse, with your family members, with your accountant, with your team members, right? We have a money narrative. We all do, right? It comes from our childhood. It comes from our learned experiences, and that informs how we do things. I absolutely have a money narrative. It's probably like more conservative and more fearful. I absolutely recognize that. I am a planner, right? And so I try to combat some of my own anxiety around money for planning, right? The good thing about that is that planning for a business is great, right? Like if you watch my video just the other day, I talked about business planning. It can be very helpful, right? That is why I do those kinds of things, because it's good for your business and it's good for me, right? So you have to find what's good for you and your money narrative to become comfortable with talking about money, looking at your money. I look at money every day. I keep spreadsheets around money. I look at reports on a regular basis. I look at revenue reports. I look at our QuickBooks. I look at profit loss. I look at balance sheets. I do this regularly because I really do operate as CEO of our company. So I look at the bank account every day. I look at revenue every week. I look at profit and loss every single month. I look at clinicians' revenue monthly. I look at clinicians' numbers monthly, quarterly, yearly, right? Like, so there is a cadence that I have, and it's a forced cadence too, because the bank is constantly, because we're doing mergers and acquisitions, the bank is constantly asking for reports and asking for clarification. My bookkeeper is constantly asking for, why'd you spend this? And where did this go? And what's this? And then I have a CFO who's also looking at it. So I've got a team of people, right? And not to like, we've also have an accountant who's like, hey, what's this? And you spent more of this. And so we have a team of people who are also giving us information and collecting information from me, the CEO. And so I can't shy away from money. I mean, I probably could, but our business is not going to be successful, right? So like there's a balance, like you ignore your money, your business might be successful to some point, but it will eventually probably implode. Or you can hire like an amazing CFO or that manages the money part for you. But there's like all these horror stories. Like, you see my anxieties coming up because immediately I'm like, that person's going to steal all your money, right? And so, but I think you need to be prudent in the people that you hire and that you put into a position to help you manage your money. And that I think that there always has to be a checks and balances system, right? Like, isn't that the premise of like what Schitt's Creek is about, right? Like, Johnny Rose had this amazing company and his money manager like stole all of his money, right? Like, so there is a narrative around that. That's not just my narrative that we get inundated around businesses. And I think it is really important, no matter what level that you're on and no matter who is managing your finances, whether it's you have a bookkeeper, you have a CFO, you have an accountant, et cetera, that you have a pulse on your business, right? Because ultimately it is your business. We're going to talk about that. But first, I want to thank our sponsor, TherapyNotes, who makes it very easy for me to run reports to look at clinician revenue I can look at it by day, by month, by week, by day, by month, by quarter, by year. I can look by location. I can look by payer. I look at all of this stuff. I want to know who our top payers are, who our top clinicians are, what our top offices are, if the offices are meeting their marks. So having a platform like TherapyNotes that is really report heavy is going to be really, really helpful for you. Again, running your solo practice, you should know who your top payers are, right? Like where your revenue is coming from, because one of the payers, I was going to say, might be a really big pain, but if they're your top revenue source, you might decide it's the risk is worth it, right? Or the aggravation is worth it. If you have another payer that is really kind of a pain and you're not making a lot of money from them at all, you might say, I'm going to give this up because it doesn't make any sense for me to keep going. So knowing your numbers through an electronic health record is going to be really important. So thank you to our sponsor, TherapyNotes. So going back to, I want you to really embrace that this is your business. This is your money, right? This is your practice. These are your clients. These are your employees. These are your contractors. You are responsible. And a part of that responsibility is the finances, right? Again, you can hire an amazing CFO, an amazing accountant, an amazing bookkeeper, and you can offload. Like, I'm not pulling revenue every week and making spreadsheets. I didn't create a financial model for our business. Our CFO did, and he is amazing. And I so appreciate him. I'm going to tag him in this video when it goes up because I really do appreciate him. And it's so amazing. But ultimately, like, I'm responsible for this business because I am the owner. My name is on the LLC, right, with my husband. But because I operate as CEO, I also think that adds a layer that I can't put my head in the sand around money. My money narrative doesn't allow me to do that anyways. And I think it's really important if you're running a successful practice that you embrace the financial part, because it is one piece. It's not the whole piece. It's not the only thing that I do, but it's a one piece of a puzzle of running a business that will help you be successful. So I hope this wasn't too scary and it was helpful. I'll see you soon, everybody. Bye.